Everyone give it up for your great host, Janet. So, she didn't mention all the comedy clubs. I performed at all over New York City. I performed at Rodney's Comedy Club. Oh, that's it. So I actually got a dog a couple of years ago. His name is Kevin. People find it funny whenever I go to an event. They're like, "Where's Kevin?" I'm like, "Oh my God, I forgot Kevin." So I cannot bring him here, but he's actually in my living room right now, and I have on my TV on repeat. He's watching the ASPCA dog Save the Dog commercial, just so he doesn't get too complacent and knows how good he has it. When I get home, I am thinking about showing him the older commercials, so he sees the impact of inflation, because now it's 60 cents a day to support the dog. It's 43 cents. So I know this is going to shock a lot of people, especially because I'm an Orthodox Jew, but I'm actually an accountant. Yeah. No, I'm kidding. It's actually 1 in 3. So yeah, I'm thinking maybe, because I'm also an accountant, so why would I'm thinking about just doing this full time, because this is much more stable. Maybe it's not, I don't know. So I don't know if anyone here has tried to call the IRS recently, but it's impossible to get through to them anymore because of all their budget cuts. So I'm on hold for about 2 hours. Finally, this woman answers the phone. She's like, "Hi, this is Linda, agent ID 07564. Is there anything I can help you with?" I'm like, "No, I'm just calling because my iPod broke and my Spotify account doesn't work anymore. And I just want to listen to the music you guys play in the background while I wait." She's like, "I'm sensing some sarcasm. We're experiencing a heavy call volume today." She's like, "How can I help you?" I'm like, "Well, I got a notice from my last year return saying to call you guys." And she's like, "What's your name?" I'm like, "Oren." She's like, "How do you spell it?" I'm like, O as in orange. No, O as in octopus. Oh no, it doesn't matter which word you choose. So I told her my name. She's like, "1 second, let me pull up your records." I'm like, "Listen, Linda, don't fuck this up. I'm recording this call for quality assurance." Because when I call and you tell me that, it's like, that was my #1 concern, the quality of your training. So she's like, "Yeah, the issue with your prior return is it's on page 1 of your return, it says you made over $100,000 last year." So I'm like, "Yeah, so what?" She's like, "Well, on the bottom of page 2 for your profession, it says stand-up comedian." That's not possible. I'm like, "Have you seen me perform?" She's like, "Yeah, actually, I was at your last performance." So hence the notice. She's like, "We're going to issue a $50 penalty for being a smartass. How do you want to pay that?" I said, "You know what, just put me on a payment plan, Linda," and I hung up on her. So, has anyone recently or dealt with Ticketmaster to buy tickets for concerts?
Yeah.
Well, that was a lot of enthusiasm. You didn't know this sucked. So, a friend of mine recently bought a concert ticket for me. And he transferred the ticket to me, and I accepted. And this was months ago. Now the concert's coming up. I go into my account. I accepted the ticket months ago, but the ticket's not there. It says your order has been canceled. So I called Ticketmaster, and I'm like, "Oh, this is going to be good." And I get some random guy, and he's like, "Yeah, what's the issue?" I'm like, "Yeah, it says my order has been canceled, but I accepted the transfer from my friend." He's like, "Oh, you got to be careful. It could be the only really good explanation for this is it could be fraud. So the only way this would happen is if it was a fraudulent buyer. Do you know who sent it to you?" I'm like, "Yeah, it was my friend who I told him to buy, and then he sent it to me and I accepted, and he told me it was coming. So there was like no surprise there." He's like, "Yeah, but, it could be fraud." I'm like, "It was my friend." But he just keeps saying the same thing, these canned responses. "Well, it could be fraud, it could be fraud." I said, "You know what, here's the truth. I got an email from this random email I didn't recognize, from this legit prince in Nigeria, claiming that if I just accepted this ticket transfer, he would give me $10 million. And the rep at Ticketmaster, I think he thought I was serious. He's like, "So sir, that's actually a common scam." and that's what we're trying to prevent here. And that's why you can't accept those tickets. I said, look, that's not what happened. Can I speak? I want to speak to a supervisor. He's like, you want to speak to a supervisor? I'm like, no, I want to speak to a junior. Do you have an unpaid intern maybe I can talk to or something? I want to de-escalate this. I like to think as a comedian about some phrases we say that don't make a lot of sense if you think about them, or phrases that are confusing. So there's one phrase or question that I never really understand what the answer means. When someone says, do you mind? If they say yes, does that mean you do mind, or you're willing to do what they want to do? So my friend recently asked me, do you mind helping me move on Sunday? And I said, sure, yeah. And she's like, so what's your availability on Sunday? I'm like, I said I do mind. I don't know if you remember that part. All right, yeah. Recently, a colleague of mine was doing some work for me, and he's like, I did this assignment, and I assumed a couple of things, and he went through his thought process, and I'm like, you know what they say about assuming things? He's like, yeah. I'm like, it increases efficiency. I'm happy you did it. Your idea was brilliant. Another phrase I hear all the time, I actually heard about a week ago, I was walking on the street, didn't hear the rest of the conversation. One guy turns to another and he says, are you sure? And the other guy goes, yes, 10,000%. So I'm like, is he really sure though? 10,000? Like, as an accountant, I realize it can't really be more than 100%. And I don't even know if you really need to be an accountant, but figure that out. But so this guy goes in for an interview, and one of the questions he's asked is, if you get this job, how much effort would you put into it? He said, oh, I'd give it my all. I'd give it 110%. The interviewer's like, oh, okay, great. Interview ends. Interviewer goes to his boss. He's like, should we hire him? He said 110%. The boss is like, fuck no, let's hire the guy who said 1,000%. We'll pay him the same salary, getting nearly 10 times the productivity. So next I'm going to talk about, we have an upcoming holiday a few weeks away, July 4th. So the way I celebrated July 4th, there's nothing more American than celebrating July 4th. Like me, when I go to Costco with my friends to buy stuff. And does anyone have a friend that literally will basically say anything to get what they want? Yeah. So my friend Alan, who's not here, he will say anything to get what he wants. So he, as you guys probably know, with Costco, you can't really get anything or buy anything without being a member. So he's trying to get me on his membership card. So we go to the membership desk, and my friend Alan's like, to the employee there, he's like, yeah, I want to get my friend on the membership. And the employee says, I'm sorry, you can't do that. You don't have the proper membership. The manager's right by the employee. He sees what's going on, and the manager's like, it's fine, just let it go. So the employee then asks for my ID to facilitate the process, sees my ID, and he's like, oh, I'm sorry, we can't do this. I'm like, why not? He's like, because to get on the same membership, you guys have to have the same address. So without even thinking, Alan's like, but he's my boyfriend, and we live together, but he goes back and forth to his apartment. So they allowed it, they put it through. And I afterwards, I turned to Alan, I'm like, why didn't we just tell them there's transgender too? They would have signed over the deed to the warehouse. We have other warehouses, it's fine, you can keep it. So people here have tried, I'm sure, online dating. Yeah. That's willing to talk about. So I was recently on a date with a girl, and she said, Oren, I don't get it. Why are we going out again? You said on the last day you didn't see this going anywhere. I'm like, yeah, but I just signed up for the Chase Sapphire Reserve card, and I have to spend $4,000 in the first 3 months to get 1,000 points. She's like, but you said that on the last day. I'm like, yeah, but I also just discovered it's 2% cash back in So it's nothing personal. Well, actually, it is personal. So, yeah, when I hate, like everyone, I hate getting rejected, but the reasons I get are not great. You know, usually you hear, you know, you're just not for me. But usually I get it's not me, it's you. Or I have a lot of fun, but you're just a bad person. Or I ask them, do you want to go out again? And they're like, Oren, I'd love to, it's just that I have no interest. So yeah, that's basically my dating life. Another holiday, my favorite one growing up was Halloween. I'm sure everyone loves that. I'm not supposed to love it because I'm Jewish. So I never understood on Halloween, all these kids go door to door asking the same question. They always get the same answer. And they only want one answer. So why even ask the question? Well, I'll tell you why. When I was a little kid growing up, when I was going door to door, I knocked on this one guy's door. This guy answered the door, he was balding, in his 50s, wearing a white beater, potato chip crumbs on his stomach. I'm like, trick or treat. He's like, trick, I'm a pedophile, get the fuck in here. He tricked me because he said he had this candy called chloroform or something. I was watching Law and Order the other day, and I was thinking how it's interesting when a police detective has to call and inform someone, a family member, that their relative has died. They have to ask if they're sitting down first. As if like, oh, if they're sitting down, they'll be okay with the news. Hey, are you sitting down? Yeah. Your brother was murdered last night. Okay. Are you okay? Yeah, fine, I'm sitting down. I was saying, tragic, so thanks for the heads up. So lastly, I'll just talk about I'll just tell you a little incident that happened to me at the airport recently. They decided to search me more in depth because Orthodox Jews are notorious for blowing up airplanes. And the employee there was wearing gloves and everything, but he was putting his hands down my pants, feeling my crotch. I'm like, excuse me, do you work here? He laughed. No, I'm kidding. He actually said, oh shit, I think they're on to me. And he ran away. And then I'm like, oh shit, I think they're on to me. I don't even have a flight. So I noticed a lot of the good comedians, even the really good comedians, unfortunately, don't have a good way of closing their act. All right, you guys have been great. I gotta run.